this is what I've been using before I got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. But this could be a me problem. Has my video game improved after using this device for a year? Well, let's find out. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and since I got it, I've barely used my DSLR or even my phone. In this video, I'm going to let you know if this can change your life. And if you know somebody who could use this for an upcoming Christmas or birthday gift, just wait. I'll make it exceptionally clear why that is or isn't a good idea. I'll also include links to the best prices I find on Amazon so that you can get some great deals. My name is J.I. I make videos on the technology in our lives and how we can use it to make our lives easier. So, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 was released closer to the end of 2023, but at the end of 2024 and going into 2025, does it still hold a candle to anything released recently? And the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 might be around the corner, so why should you get this? Okay, let's get this out of the way. My experience with the Osmo Pocket 3 for the most of this past year has been incredible. I was looking for something that was small and lightweight that I could take on my trips, and my phone was just not going to cut it. For one thing, I need my phone for other tasks when I'm traveling. I can't kill the battery while I'm in Europe, especially if I'm using Google Maps or searching up attractions. Not to mention, in order to get the incredible footage that this little guy can achieve, well, I would need a mobile gimbal such as this, which is one extra thing to pack, and it's also quite bulky. When I received the Osmo, I was pleasantly surprised at how small it is. They have Pocket in the name for a reason. I was able to comfortably slip it into my pocket or my side bag while traveling, and by the way, I would highly recommend getting this slipcover case. It protects your investment from scratches and allows you to toss it into any bag without worrying about it. I'll also include a link for this down in the description below. Out of the box, we get the Osmo Pocket 3 itself, a USB Type-C cable, a protective cover, which I'm not a fan of, and finally a handle extension so that you can mount this to a tripod. We'll talk about that in a bit. The unit itself is also super light, coming in at around 179 grams, which is roughly the same weight of an apple. Not that apple. That one. The camera doesn't feel cheap either. It's hefty enough to give you confidence that it could more than likely survive an accidental drop or two. Although I would suggest avoiding a drop at all costs. There's some very sensitive tech inside the head of the unit, and if that hits the ground camera first, well, it's game over. Again, highly recommend using this case as well when not filming. Speaking of case, the casing of the unit itself is mainly plastic, but it dissipates heat very well and is also easy to grip. We have a 1-inch sensor, which makes this better than most mobile phones out there. And you can really tell when viewing footage from the device itself. It's incredibly sharp and clear, and the unit itself is small enough to remain inconspicuous, and this is a massive plus so that you can capture those unique moments in the moment. Not only that, but it's purposely small enough for anyone who's too shy to pull out their phone in a crowded space. It doesn't attract much attention, and the ergonomics of it is perfect to get far more unique shots than what you can actually do with a phone or DSLR camera. The lens is protected when the unit is powered down and immediately comes into action when powered on. On the front of the unit, we have very simple controls. The single joystick is used to control the camera's position, as well as provide zooming functionality for the camera. We have a small LED above that which indicates power, and also when the unit is recording. Next to that is our speaker grill and mic, and of course, the record button. That's pretty much it. Anything else that needs to be accessed, such as settings, can all be done on the 2-inch screen. The 2-inch OLED touchscreen can move between vertical and horizontal mode, so you can quickly switch between Instagram Reels or if you're filming a full-on landscape YouTube video. This was actually one of the main reasons I purchased the device. I would really hate to have to change the settings on the fly using any software settings, so this is a welcomed addition. For anyone who vlogs themselves and finds themselves in situations where you have to prop your phone up against something to film, well, that is a worry of the past. The square design of the Osmo Pocket 3 lets you freestand on any flat surface so that you can film yourself, and not to mention, follow you around when you have active track enabled. We'll talk about that more in the next section. All your footage will go onto a micro SD card, which slides into this exposed slot on the camera, And by the way, not all cards are the same. I highly recommend using a Class 10 card that is designed for this camera. I have the exact type of card that works great with the Pocket 3, so you can check that in the description down below as well. And speaking of the exposed slot, the one thing that is sorely missed from this camera is any weatherproofing. It's not designed to be in the elements, so I would highly recommend keeping it out of rain or wet conditions. So before I talk about filming with the DJI, I want to preface this by mentioning that if you have the opportunity to get the creator combo, then you should absolutely do that. I didn't get the creator combo as I prefer using the HOLLYLAND LARK M2 mic. A video you can probably check out right over here, but honestly, I would totally recommend getting the creator combo for a couple of reasons. First of all, depending on what package you get, it comes with an extended battery. That is something that always comes clutch when you're out and about and you're there for a full day filming, and something that I would probably have loved during my day trips. I was fortunate enough to have an external battery pack to charge it during lunch or dinner, but this would eliminate the need of planning anything like that and allows you to shoot continuous footage without any interruption. Second, the DJI mic, although a bit bulkier than my HOLLYLAND LARK M2, is part of the ecosystem. This is key since the mic automatically pairs with the Osmo as soon as you boot it up. If you want to hook up another wireless mic, that might take a bit of work, but I'll talk about that later. The creator combo also includes a wide-angle lens and a mini tripod, which will elevate your experience overall. I had the mini tripod from a previous device, so this wasn't a loss for me, but sometimes I would love to have that wide-angle lens addition. I'll just have to buy that separately. So my first real trip with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 was to France and Italy, and I gotta say, I took a ton of videos, and more than I usually do because it was just so easy and enjoyable. I rarely had to fumble with any settings as it was designed to be a point and shoot camera. The camera can shoot in several different modes and can take 4K Ultra HD content at 120 frames per second. It also allows you to film in D-Log-M and 10-bit, but for most vloggers, this probably isn't necessary unless you're a serious filmmaker or want a lot more room for grading. Suffice to say, well, it's nice to have the option there if you really want it. You can power up the unit two ways, either by holding the record button or flipping the screen horizontally. Powering it off and on with a screen flip can also be enabled or disabled in settings. I prefer this method as it's quick and easy, although when I try to switch back into vertical shooting mode, it will power down unless you tell it specifically not to. Took a bit of getting used to. The 3-axis gimbal on this unit is incredibly smooth, and honestly just looks so much better when creating footage compared to my phone. Although my phone can use software stabilization to smooth out the footage, nothing compares to a hardware stabilizer. Trust me on that. Now this one is huge, so pay attention. Anyone who films or vlogs themselves with their phone or mirrorless camera, you need to stop doing that and you need to get this. Look, you can film yourself with your phone using the front-facing camera, but the quality is not the best. If you choose to use the rear camera, you really can't see yourself. Okay, sure, this might be alleviated a little bit by using a mirrorless camera, but that's pretty big and bulky. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 blows both of those things out of the water in terms of quality and convenience. Switching to front-facing content is incredibly easy. Using the software button on the unit itself, you can easily switch from front to back and all the while recording. The background blur is incredibly crisp and much better than using software-generated bokeh on the iPhone. It also has incredibly fast focusing, and focus switching has not disappointed me one bit. We have something called Active Track 6.0, which keeps the subject in the middle of the frame no matter where you move around to. I have to give props to DJI as that 1-inch sensor can capture some incredible detail, not just during the day, but in low light settings as well. I found myself using the normal shooting mode in low light because, well, it's just that good. But we also have a dedicated low light setting that can be enabled if you need an extra boost. I have been nothing but impressed with the stability of the gimbal. During my usage on vacation, I could recall several times where I was walking fast, practically running, as well as on uneven cobblestone, and thought to myself, boy, these shots are going to be terrible. But you know what? When looking at the footage after the fact, I couldn't even tell. It all looked fantastic. And an all-time favorite feature of mine is the spin shot, allowing you to slowly rotate the camera 90 or 180 degrees, which makes for a unique shot in pretty much any scenario. There are 4 gimbal modes available to you. The first is follow mode, which is common for selfies and vlogs, tilt lock, which levels your horizon no matter which way you hold it, FPV mode, which allows the camera to rotate freely, and then lastly, another FPV mode, which keeps the same direction as your touchscreen. This camera was designed for close shots. If you're looking for something with a decent zoom, this is probably not for you. Your phone might be a better option. We only have 2 times digital zoom on the lens, which for most scenarios is more than enough. Now, having the creator combo is great because you get the DJI mic included, which can automatically connect to your system. That's great and all, but it's also not practical to keep it on you everywhere you go. So how good is the built-in mic system? Well, I'll tell you. It's great. You can hear for yourself. Now, this is a sample coming from the DJI Osmo's standard built-in mic. I can imagine there's probably a little bit of an echo. It's not going to be as clear as a standard mic, but it's about 6 feet away from me, I would say. Probably still just as clear. So you can see you really don't need to use an external mic, but if you decide to do so, it's quite simple to set up. The DJI mic is designed to automatically connect to the unit without much fuss. However, if you want to hook up a third-party wireless mic, such as the HOLLYLAND LARK M2, well, be sure to have a USB-C receiver on hand. Let me show you how the LARK M2 sounds with the DJI Osmo. Okay, right now I have the LARK M2 hooked up to the Osmo. I have the transmitter hooked up as well as the mic going. You can see that right there. And it's actually not such a bad combination because you have the transmitter, which is really lightweight and low profile. It does stick out from the bottom. That's one thing to consider. If you were to get the DJI mic, you wouldn't have to put a transmitter to it. It would automatically just sync with your Osmo. So that's something to actually keep in mind when you're thinking about how you want your audio to sound when you're using this gimbal. So whether you use the built-in mic, a DJI mic, or even a third-party mic, all of those options will get you great sound for your 4K clips. Regardless of what you choose, there's an option enabled on the DJI gimbal that keeps a backup of your audio from the default mic, just in case something isn't working right. That's a game-changing feature in case your external mic craps out on you, or you just forgot to turn it on. You're always covered with this feature. The backup audio appears as a simple WAV file on your SD card that you can match with the video. I think the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is revolutionary for content creators. It's one of the first pocket cameras that anyone can take on the go without having to bring a mirrorless camera or a DSLR with a slew of different lenses. The quality coming from this little machine is stunning, and you really don't have to compromise when leaving your camera equipment at home. Price-wise, I honestly think it's very affordable as well for a device of its kind. At the time of this video, the price for a brand new DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is $519 USD. For $669 USD, you can actually get an amazing creator combo deal that comes with a DJI mic and more. The mic alone is an excellent value when buying it with your Osmo. Again, I have the latest and the best deals that you can get on Amazon. And with Christmas and Black Friday and the Osmo Pocket 4 around the corner, well, these deals are gonna be incredible. Paired with Amazon Prime's 1 to 2 day shipping, you really can't go wrong. So, have you been using the Osmo Pocket 3 or are you considering it? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and your experience on the device. I hope this review was helpful for you. My name is J.I. Thank you for watching and thank you for kicking it with me.